on. We'll talk about our first match of the night as well, because look, it's an exciting one, and this is the time to do yourself a favor. Keep yourself in that upper bracket. It is the upper bracket matchup between Trent Thunder and the Warwick squad. And Ultras, I'm coming to you, Trent. I mean, look, we've talked a lot about UEA Blue Jays, this team that's causing the upsets, but Trent Thunder, I mean, they've been pulling off a few upsets of their own. They're quietly having an absolutely standout performance.
Well, this is the beautiful thing, right? Is that both these teams came out of Group C, and UEA seems to have dominated the headlines, but that's not to say that Trent has not had their moments. I mean, they had a really tough round last week against Nottingham Nebulas, managing to take that 4-3, very close game, but they have been up and down the entire series. I mean, they, in the group stages, managed to take out Erasmus Eagles, who's still in this upper bracket now. They managed to take them out 3-0. I mean, this is the sort of level of team that you're sitting with in this upper bracket still. You know, arguably the top eight teams still in this competition. And they got 3-0 swept by one of the other teams right next to them. Like, literally on their next leg, they would have to fight them if both of the teams made it through. And so Trent is not a team to sleep on.
I like to. Let's stick with you then. Let's ask for a prediction as we get closer and closer to kickoff time. Do you think Warwick's control style will take it? Do you think Trent? Can you bet against them?
I mean, I had Warwick winning against whichever Nottingham won the prior matchup last week, so I'll go with Warwick 4-2, but I don't know.
I think I'm going to give this one to Trent, but I'm going to go 4-3. I'm going to be reserved in it.
Going with Warwick 4-0 stompage right now.
I mean, it's convincing, and I've been convinced. I'm going to have to stick with Warwick as well on the death.
If Trent is able to make another upset happen, if they're able to continue onto this event, that's when we stop saying, hold on, are they really playing at the edge of the seat? Are they really this team on the edge? Or are they actually, you know, under more control than what appears? And I find that interesting when you look at a large majority of the meta that we've been seeing in Rocket League as a whole, where it's kind of been this, you know, play fast, die young style, more on the offensive side as opposed to the defensive side. But who's not to say that can happen on the opposite end of the pitch as well? So I'm going to be very curious how this game plays out.
And here we have our first series of the night. I don't know what it was, some sort of exorcism, some sort of biblical occurrence. They came back all the way in a ridiculous Game 7 and won it. And early on, they're going to have to mount a comeback as well, because it's Warwick who strike first through Tree Fork.
And I'm already seeing that patented Trent defense starting to bite them a little bit. It was a triple commit into the corner defensive effort.
Yep, absolutely. As we're highlighting for you in chat, of course, Trent very much a counter-attacking side. As you can see here, it's going to work out for them. Misty will get the equalizer, thanks to, I have to say it, this mistake here from Warwick on the side. Tree Fork just misreading his touch, and it's going to prove costly. But just like us two, I can see Formal that chat have predicted Warwick, and right now we're looking a little bit silly. 60% of chat went for Warwick, and yet Trent are now in the lead.
Yeah, straight down the middle. Misty able to find So-So. Sushi well overcommitted on that play, not expecting the pass, and I'm a little bit questionable on that one right now. So kudos to Trent. They're getting the job done right now.
Yeah. Just feel like maybe Trent forcing the mistakes out with the pressure, and with a 50 from Sushi, it's gonna be 3. The first looked like a little bit of a feels front flip man for Sushi. This is just a 50, a ratio from So-So, and it's 3 in quick succession for Trent Thunder.
Casting for like 3 years now in that region, moved to EU.
Actually, no, because there's 2.
No, there's 2. Yeah, there's the OCE one. Oh!
I mean, what do we even say about this? There's nothing we can say about this goal. What just happened?
Yeah, I want to see this one again. Misty through the corner. So there's multiple Misty. So this is not the Misty that used to play for 1NE in Oryx.
A few in between and multiple defensive mistakes. Like, I'm pretty sure 3 of these 4 goals have just straight up come down to hard whiffs. This one, you can maybe count as another. Misty's going to make it 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to call this one an unforced mistake. This was a very forced one right now. Had Sushi made contact with the ball, it would have just been an own goal.
That they were probably backed going into this. Certainly with second place in Group A, they look like a team very much playing up to the standard we expected of them. Game 1 certainly has not been to that trend, I think it's fair to say.
No, it was not. And for Trent Thunder, let's keep the good times rolling, I suppose. 5 goals to 1.
Anfield Knight plays host to game 2. Warwick, after a great start, really just being caught unawares, letting themselves down, and Trent not shook at all.
Initially on the back half, when they're going for the midfield challenges, you can see right there, Treefolk still on their own side of the field, and that actually might work in their favor. The demo find its way in. Good job by Soso to avoid the own goal.
Yeah, I was going to say, the second that spilt across the goal, Soso just looked like he was on course for that own goal. Maybe a goal here. No, Walden with the save at the back post.
Has been just challenges procedurally closer and closer to the Warwick goal. It's a matter of time before Misty finds it, not quite off the post and not in. That shot was a long time coming, and now it goes the other way. Susie's touch not accurate as well.
But props to Warwick as well, right? They made a couple, really poor whiffs that let them down in game one form, and I feel like under the pressure of playoffs, that can sometimes get worse and worse as the series goes on, but it just gets better here. It's Warwick who strike first.
That pass was a thing of beauty. Walden back to Treefork, who was full supersonic speed, crossing up the defense. The moment we saw all three defenders commit to that corner, the moment that pass came through just outside of them, you knew it was going to be a shot on target. Final minute, doesn't matter. That was the result of Warwick's patience play, and that's why the controlled team is going to take advantage of the controlled game. In fact, give them another goal on top of it. They earned 2 for that last one.
Just the pressure on here as Trent suddenly desperate to get out as the time no longer with them, very much against them now as Walden slips it underneath.
That they have as time is going to tick down. I guess just to further emphasize your point, I want you to listen very carefully to these words, right, and understand the implication. There is more dangerous disease out there that is as contagious as a case of the Whiffles. Nothing more contagious. I know you're probably thinking of a lot of things. No. Whiffles, #1 on top, and Warwick had a bad case of them in game 1, but you can recover from them quickly, which they did, and they turned it to that win. So congratulations to Warwick, tying up this series now 1 apiece. That's the kind of game that I feel like you can build a series around a little bit more so perhaps than the start that we saw from Trent, where they were just capitalizing on mistakes, because Warwick, they really, outside of 1 or 2 shots out of Misty from the midfield, felt in control the entire time, even though they were more on the defensive half. But
comfortable they were, because they really didn't have that much boost either. Trent with over 200 boost per minute more over the course of the game. This replay is going to be hilarious.
Oh, so. I've seen some pre-jumps in the past, but my goodness, just sending it and nowhere near the play. That's going to be how Warwick takes the lead.
On 420 of all times as well. So we just need like a perfect screenshot and then just like the record scratch. So you're probably wondering how I ended up here. Treefork, he's up for the ball. He's going to make it too. And it's once again a 1-2 double punch from Warwick. But this time early on.
Only in Rocket League can you find a play hilarious that makes you just double facepalm in cringe and then follow that up with amazement. Warwick can never get a good clear from the backboard, or they can find that demo if they really want that goals. And judging by their playstyle, I think they're going to be more inclined to go for demos. So let's keep our eyes open to see who starts trying to blow up who. As the series progresses, that's one of the quick plays down the middle, though. So making it 2-1.
It's a nice play from Trent. Not the first great passing play. They've threatened this game. This one, the first to deliver. I feel like the patience on the pass from Butter was so nice, right? He literally baited in the first man. The timing, exquisite. He's out and Soso, he runs it down the left-hand side. He's allowed to get the shot on. Well, big save from Walden, but it's still out in front. Misty's drop down blocked by Treefork. Butter can't make the contact that was required. It was a tough angle, but the signs for Trent are still showing.
The bump, and I know Treefolk still wound up winning in that defensive side, but there was a chance to really stop the back of pass. Okay, Soso does get it to Butter, and that's going to be the equalizing goal.
Walden with a big save in his Batmobile. Soso was up so early, but he still made the block. Big from Butter. Follows it up. The shot may look easy, but it was tough for him to read that play. Huge that he's in there at that moment in the right place, and he gets the equalizer here. That was game 1. They'd love to get themselves ahead in the series, even if just by the one game. Sushi not on target, not for the first time this series, but it's okay. They're still tied up, but Trent really getting away with it there late on in regulation here.
Both should slow down.
Maybe if Trent have anything to say about it, it might speed up here. They've got an open net to shoot on. Soso can't make it. Butter too far forward this time, and Sushi's able to get back and make the save of the night. And I dare say it's probably not going to be the last. Trent really trying to get under the I don't know. I don't even know what they're trying to get under in terms of Warwick. Their teeth, their nails, they're getting up in their face. I mean, that was close. It was a whisker away, but it's not close enough, and it's in off the post from Butter. A winning goal for Trent.
Are wolves known for eating their own?
I don't know, actually. Chat might
Look,
know.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is there's always got to be one own goal in every stream, right? Like, that's just the general rule.
True.
That's just the general rule. That ball came off Tree Fork.
It is Tree Fork, but it is certainly Butter who gets the credit there. And Butter, again, so often looked down upon as very much the third man. Even now, you know, overshadowed sometimes by his teammates, Misty and So-So. But this man comes up with clutch plays on offense and defense at the most crucial times. And he's really been showing it here in these playoffs in EURC.
Looking for that one last attack.
That was such a nice set of 2 touches from So-So. As much as the first one was awkward, he followed it up so nicely and got a 2-for-1 trade in terms of the Warwick players needing to commit to get that ball off of him here as Warwick send it forward again, trying to avoid a second overtime in a row. Walden will take the 50, but it's not really in the guys in White's favor. It's going to bounce, but I think it's going to drop here. Tree Fork can't get under it, and this overtime is a 0-0 one. Under pressure, a couple really difficult executes that he could have easily gotten wrong if the pressure gets to him, but that is not the case. And Trent, they come forward now. What mistakes can they force out of Warwick? Can they force it with the bumps? Yes, they can. It's Butter again, but my goodness, Misty was the bulldozer.
And I want to go back to the start, I believe, of this game. I said, let's keep an eye on Trent and see who's going to go for that big bumper demo and when and who will set things up. It was Misty in overtime getting it done. That physical style. We knew Trent was going to pull the trigger eventually. And what a time to do it. Trent now sitting on match point. Anyone pick Trent to go top 12?
I have to say Galgan and Muntz were certainly Trent believers.
Muntz
but I
doesn't
think
count. So
Galgan was the only one who actually had them in their top 12. And you got to respect the belief, really, as we head on to Neo, Tokyo, Warwick. The favorites coming into the series, both on panel and in chat. 1 game away from dropping to the lower bracket. And right now, the time is ticking because Misty is going to put that on the clock.
Misty straight out the gate. That cheat, very unfortunate for Sushi. They would have been the first one to the ball, but the angle was so bizarre, and it's Misty who capitalizes. Fastest goal we've seen of the series thus far. Trent, we actually kind of rarely see them with the lead. In all the games they've won, they've come from behind and kind of have won it at the very end.
I'm back out of Warwick right now. They just look like they've got tunnel vision a lot of the time. Really under the cosh here from Trent, who look far more relaxed. And why not? I say that as they double commit and miss the ball, of course. Butter totally calculated to let him come through. It's Sushi again on limited boost here. Nothing in the tank, flipping all over the place. It's wild.
That's
it's
a goal!
Not being controlled. And Trent, no, it's not a goal. Massive save from Tree Fork, but I also don't know how either. That didn't find the back of the net. Like, what?
I mean, it was on target, just not quite enough speed. That said, Misty with a pass back.
For this ball to stay in a dangerous place, for all this offense and pressure Warwick have had. That's the first real chance they've had at a shot, and still Trent got in the way.
Here comes that counterattack. Misty does enough to get to the corner. Butter with the chance gets past one. Walden gets demoed. So tries to bang it through. Sushi with the clutch save.
I just think it's going to go down to just a kickoff goal. Seconds into this one on Neo Tokyo. Butter's up, and his shot isn't quite in. It's Tree Fork who's up in the top corner to collect another save.
Forced error. This is just going to be a series I think Sushi is going to want to forget at the end of it all. Win or lose. Misty shot from midfield. Walden falls back to save it. Sushi with control, but is immediately challenged by So-So. A goal here, you would have to think, puts this one away. Butter goes for the fake. Misty goes for the shot, but Walden clears it to safety.
So all he's got to do is run down this clock. Trent looking in commanding control here as Misty takes it around the corner, takes his time, careens it towards the center as Walden, here he comes out, will make the block, but it doesn't get far, and Warwick just appear to be spectators to their own demise here as the clock ticks down. Will it be another? It's Tree Fork playing interference again, but for what? The clearance, Walden's up, but where's it going to go? To Trent again. They clear it downfield, and Warwick continue to come up empty-handed.
And with 3 seconds remaining, it comes down to one last attack. Tree Fork puts it up, caught by Walden. They have a little bit of momentum, but So-So will slam it down, and that is how it's won. Trent Thunder take the series.
And it's another 4-1. It's another time where the one on the panel is correct. Props to Ultraism. I am thoroughly disappointed in that Warwick performance, but I couldn't care less. I'm hyped for Trent. The boys keep it running. The lads in pink. This run is getting crazy. Who cares about UEA in the lower bracket formal? We've got Trent in the uppers. They'll move on to play Portsmouth next week.
Warwick versus Portsmouth was going to be one of those matches that we're been gifted to get because it's two juggernauts going at it. But now I want to see how far Trent can go. How far can this, crazy style actually take this team? And I say crazy style, but at the end of the day, I have to admit, Trent looked like a more conventional current meta War Rocket League team than Warwick did, because they were more willing to attack the ball offensively this time as opposed to only on that defensive side. And you saw a team that was multifaceted. They took their style, they put it all over the pitch, and they found some great successes with it. So I feel like Trent, they've really done a great job in discovering their identity. And in this series, we saw it evolve that identity, but still stay true to themselves. And that is a dangerous combination.